station of Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are Southwest.
The ace of your staff has to be your difference maker, your game changer, Mr. Dependable. Right now, the Rangers skipper needs his ace to be all of them. Staring out over the wild card landscape, the Rangers are in must-win territory, with time no longer on their side. Tonight, it's Cole Hamels looking to lead the charge in a Saturday night showdown against the Angels. This is Rangers Baseball presented by AT&T, and once again from the Big A in Southern California, the Rangers and the Angels, middle game of this three-game set, and some of the big names in the game going tonight. Rangers going to their ace, and he'll have to contend with one of the all-time greats in Albert Pujols in what is must-win territory for both teams. Hello again, everybody. Great to be with you tonight. I'm Dave Raymond alongside CJ Nikowski. This really is sort of critical territory for both these teams, and really for a lot of teams right now in baseball. From the Rangers' perspective, it's been a little bit of a skid lately. They need somebody to turn that around, and a guy that's done that on a number of occasions this year is on the mound tonight.
Well, Cole Hamels is the ace of this team, and now he's got to be the stopper of this team. He has got to stop losing streaks. He has done it before. Check him out whenever he has pitched after the Rangers have just lost 3 or more games. Cole Hamels has really answered the bell. 5-1 record, 3.52 ERA, and he's done an excellent job. The strikeouts, the walks, across the board, the numbers have been really good. He is going to have to do that again tonight here in Los Angeles against the Angels. Now, the good news is he's been good against the Angels over the course of his career. We'll see what he's done even this year. 2-0 with a 2.36 ERA. Look at that, 163 opponent's batting average, and that's good news. The Angels have really struggled against left-handed pitching. Just the 28th best batting average against left-handed pitchers this year. So it lines up pretty well right now for Cole Hamels and the Rangers.
All right, so the Rangers have their veteran going, the ace of their staff. Parker Bridwell has to start for the Angels. He's a really interesting story, a guy the Orioles basically gave up on earlier this year, a Texan. And what a surprise and what a lift he has been for this Angels team.
He has taken huge advantage of being here with the Angels. A right-handed arm and a pretty good one. A fastball that'll be about 93 to 95 miles an hour. You see there the breaking ball from him. What he's done this year has been very good for the Angels, taking advantage of this new opportunity. But he's got some pretty good stuff. He's good against righties. Now, lefties have given him a little bit of trouble. So for the Rangers tonight, they have 5 lefties in the lineup. They'll try to take advantage of those crooked numbers.
All right, and one of the guys that he's going to have to contend with tonight, who has been a terror for so many pitchers lately, is Robinson Chirinos. He continues an incredible stretch, and Emily Jones has him in the spotlight when we come back. Rangers Baseball is brought to you by AT&T Internet. Visit AT&T.com/keepcalm to learn more. And by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency.
at the Big A in Anaheim as the Rangers and Angels are set to play Game 2 of this 3-game season, or series rather, and the career season continues for one Robinson Chirinos. Talked to Robinson about the season that he's put together, and he is our subject of tonight's Shiner Box Spotlight. He says it all started actually last season when Jonathan Lucroy was acquired by the Rangers. Said he freed him up to work on his game at the plate. He had been so strong in his relationship with his pitchers. He said when Lucroy was acquired and he became the backup catcher, it really enabled him to get in the cage and figure some things out with his swing. This season he is getting on base at a very regular clip. There you see the streak for Robinson Chirinos is now at 28 games. That's the most for a Rangers catcher since 2011 when Mike Napoli had 34 straight, guys.
Yeah, pretty cool company right there, and a nice synergy as we get ready to get this one started tonight. Take a look at our Southwest starting lineup. The Rangers coming in now 3 games under 500 at 72 and 75. And in dire need of a win to Shields and Chu up on top again. Chu has really been in his zone lately. Andrews, Beltre, and Gallo in the heart of the things. Robinson Chirinos trying to continue his streak. Rougned Odor, Willie Calhoun getting a start in left field, and Drew Robinson at third.
And they'll be going up against the righty Parker Bridwell. We'll take a look at the Ford pitch arsenal for Bridwell. 47% of the time he's been throwing a fastball this year. Sits around 93 miles an hour. We'll top out at about 95. It's the cutter, the curveball, and the changeup as well. The curveball has been good. Not a pitch that he uses a ton, but just a 141 batting average against that pitch. Behind Bridwell tonight for the Los Angeles Angels playing some defense. Justin Upton will be in left, Mike Trout in center, Cole Calhoun in right, Valbuena, Simmons, Pennington, and Crone in the infield. Maldonado behind the plate. No Brandon Phillips. We saw him leave the game last night. Sounds like that lower right back or part of his back hip area keeps him out of the lineup tonight.
Well, Pennington gets the start of the first pitch tonight, and there for a strike to Delano to Shields. Bridwell doesn't monkey around much, and now 1-1 the count. 74 degrees here at game time tonight. Beautiful evening in Southern California. And a bouncer, third base. Picked cleanly over there by Valbuena, who's done a really nice job for them at third. And he retires to Shields for out number 1.
Not only it is a beautiful night, but it's a big night for Dave Raymond tonight here.
Go ahead.
Jonas Brothers concert after the game.
Okay.
I know you were talking about you're not going to be in the team bus. You're going to stick around.
Right.
Check out the Jonas Brothers this evening. They were out taking batting practice. A couple of the brothers. There's 3, if I'm not mistaken. Does that sound right to you? I believe there's 3 Jonas Brothers.
You know, listen, if
2 of them were taking BP, I think. The older one, the better built one, that's Nick, if I'm not mistaken, was crushing some balls today. He almost left the yard.
What?
The other brother.
With an aluminum bat?
He started with wood and was hitting some ground balls. He switched over to aluminum and hit one to the track in left field. The other brother, I don't think he played sports as a kid.
Well, so which one was I watching who couldn't get it out of the infield?
That was, we'll refer to him as the other brother.
The other brother, okay. 1 ball and 1 strike to Shin-Soo Choo. And Bridwell trying to pull this one foul for strike 2.
So there's Nick. He was crushing it today. That was the one. That was the brother that almost went deep here with Albert Pujols, and it's a charity concert that's getting put on here tonight, which is going to be a very nice event. There'll be a lot of people here for sure.
2-2. Can you name Jonas Brothers hit without Googling it? I see you over there.
I cannot.
Okay. Well, I know they're a big deal. Down low, and so Bridwell got ahead of Chu 1-2, but it's now a full count.
The entourage gave away the fact that they are a big deal.
Well, that is true. That is true.
Quite the entourage around them today.
Yep. Very crowded quarters today down on the field. 3-2. Chu sends this one down the left field line, but not going to carry for him. Upton is there. And 2 out here in the first inning. bring up Elvis Andrus. Elvis went 0 for 3 yesterday, but had a sac fly. The average still above 300. A career year in so many ways for Elvis. But lately, things have not gone well for this Rangers team. They have lost 6 of their last 7. Elvis, he's been right there suffering alongside his teammates. 3 for 22 in the last 7 games. And we have not seen many extended stretches for Andrus this season where he has struggled. This might be one of the longer stretches of the year. 0-2 the count.
There's that good curveball from Parker Bridwell. I mentioned just a 141 batting average against that pitch. It's got some really good break, good velocity as far as the differential off the fastball. Really good location.
You check his swing. They want an appeal. No, he did not. So Andrus strikes out swinging, and it's a 1-2-3 top of the first for Parker Bridwell. Nothing doing for the Rangers in the top. Cole Hamels ready to go to work. We go to the bottom of the first inning. Rangers came up empty in the top half. And we take a look at this Angels lineup, 75 and 72. And look at that, Mike Trout in the top spot, batting leadoff for the first time this year. In fact, it has been many years since he has found himself up there. C.J. Cron's been swinging a good power bat in the second half for the Angels, batting in the heart of the order. Luis Valbuena at third. Cliff Pennington, as we mentioned earlier, has the start at second base tonight. He will bat ninth. Well, there is Mike Trout. And Cole Hamels, 10 wins, 3 losses, and an earned run average of 4.05. Ready to go. The Rangers' ace left-hander. And his first pitch pulled, foul.
See Mike Trout coming out swinging it right away in the leadoff spot. He has not been there since 2013. You see what he's done for the season, the great numbers. Another good season Mike Trout is, maybe one of the best, even though he's missed some time.
Up and away, 1-1.
Well, here's what Mike Trout has done as a leadoff hitter, 157 games, pretty much a full season, 32 homers, 90 RBIs. He's been good in this spot.
Pops this one up, though, weakly out into right field. And it is Chu coming on who makes the play. And that wasn't real clear for a stretch there, whether it be Chu or Rougned Odor. But the result is the first out over the bottom of the first inning.
Yeah, good play by Chu. Now let's take a look at the Ford pitch arsenal for Cole Hamels and how he has been using that repertoire this season. Nearly 50% of the time it's been a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. The really good changeup for Cole Hamels has been a solid pitch for him this year, as has the cutter and the curveball. But the changeup especially, 188 batting average against. I talked about this in the open. The Angels have struggled against left-handed pitching this year. Now, obviously, Justin Upton hasn't been in their lineup all year. He came over just a month ago in the season over from the Detroit Tigers. But the Angels 28th in batting average against lefties, .233 this year. I bring that up because Upton definitely changes things. He's hitting .342 against lefties this year. So even though they can have a tendency to be a little right-handed heavy here in Los Angeles, that Angels lineup certainly could use the boost of Justin Upton and what he does against lefties.
He has the 5th best average against lefties in the league and launches this one high in the air, deep to left field, and it is long gone. Wow, that was a majestic home run by Justin Upton, and it gives the Angels the 1-0 lead here in the first.
Number 30 on the year. You saw it there for Justin Upton, and just a guy who sees left-handed pitching well, right-handed power hitter. Let's take a look at this pitch, and changeup that ended up coming across the plate. Looked like Cole Hamels wanted that down and away. May have gotten around it a little bit as it came back in over the plate at 82 miles an hour. And you got a guy like Justin Upton who hits lefties so well. And mislocation certainly something he's going to be able to cash in on.
So career high RBIs for Upton now as well this year. Upton yesterday added to his RBI total for the year, picked up an RBI double in the 6th inning, and today with that home run is now set a new career high in that category. So many new career highs for so many players in the big leagues, but not for Albert Pujols, who strikes out swinging, and there are 2 away.
Well, Cole Hamels makes very quick work of Albert Pujols, who was hitting in the 3 spot. Essentially, everybody has just moved up in this order against the Rangers tonight with no Brandon Phillips, and this is a really kind of defensive swing. There's the foul ball there. Now check out the swing and miss from Albert Pujols, who just was not quite sure whether or not that cutter was going to finish a strike. He picked it up late. And pretty ugly hack there on the 0-2 count from Pujols.
Well, now Andrelton Simmons. He takes a strike. Simmons, .281 average, 14 home runs. Had 2 hits last night. Drove in a couple of runs. Shoots this one out to right field. Chu coming in and toward the line, goes into a slide and can't handle it. Throws back to first, but Simmons back in there safely.
Chu made a great effort to try to get to this ball. He had a long way to run, kind of got caught in between of whether or not he was going to try to catch it while he was standing or sliding. Ultimately, he started to slide and the ball handcuffed him a little bit. You're going to see as it hits his glove right on the heel of the glove. And Andrelton Simmons took a pretty aggressive turn around first base, and that's why Chu threw behind him. That was a tough play, though. A long way to go for Chu.
So now C.J. Cron. And he hits one high in the air out to right field. Chu and DeShields converging. It is Delino who takes control, and that one will end the inning. But a Justin Upton home run has the Angels on top early tonight. of the second inning. Hey, don't miss the finale of the Silver Boot Series. The Astros coming to town to take on your Rangers Monday, September 25th through Wednesday, September 27th. The final time these two teams get together this year. And you can get your tickets for the Silver Boot Series at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS. We hope you will join us for that series. The Houston Astros are just sitting at home waiting to find out if tonight indeed is the night that they clinch. Rangers win tonight over these Angels would cinch the American League West for the Astros, as the magic number in Houston is down to 1. Adrian Beltre leading things off here. Takes the 1-0 pitch and bloops it out to center field, but Trout closes quickly, and there's one away. I'm going to bring up Joey Gallo.
Kind of a weird spot for the Astros to be in, of course, with that whole rebuild and everything that they have gone through, and then to finally win the division here in the American League West. They've had a very good season, even though second half there have been some struggles, but they will potentially celebrate. But I got to imagine they're not together, right?
Yeah, I would think it would be a little disappointing.
A little kind of a, listen, it's always great to be able to have champagne celebrations, and some teams will still do them the next day anyway. You don't want to miss out on those opportunities. You never know when you're going to have a chance to do it again. There are certainly no guarantees.
Bridwell comes after Joey Gallo, and that'll even the count at 1-1. Gallo at 209 for the year, 37 home runs, but he has cooled off lately. And I guess that's a story or a line that you might hear used for a lot of Rangers players right now. Seemed like they were right back in the thick of that wild card chase, but they have dropped 6 of their last 7 games. And it's 2-2.
The last home run for Joey Gallo was against these Angels back in Arlington. That was on September 1st. Of course, we've seen him just show an unbelievable display of power this year. Went on a really hot run through July and August, but he has slowed down here a little bit. And I think that's part of the information traveling as teams are seeing more and more of Joey Gallo at bats and how they want to approach him.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here, nobody on in this second inning. The pitch from Bridwell, and did he go? Yes, he did. Plate umpire Sam Holbrook didn't need any help. Now, for a little more on what Joey Gallo has been going through lately, let's check in with Emily Jones.
Yeah, I talked to Joey and a couple of guys in the clubhouse today just about, being this deep in the season and kind of what your body's going through. There's so many guys that have been nicked up and injured in and out of the lineup. And so I asked Joey, how he is now, 15 games to go. And he looked at me and he said, "Have you ever been jumped?" And I said, "Actually, no." He said, "That's what you feel like every morning when you wake up. You feel like you got jumped the night before and you don't know what happened." So he said it does take a toll on your body, but at this point in the year, everyone's fighting through things. It's, not just him, it's not just this team, it's everyone, and it's part of the process of, making it through a major league season. I don't know if necessarily CGF pitchers felt that way, but at least for position players.
You definitely feel it. I mean, we are at that time of year where guys are feeling it physically, emotionally as well is part of it. I think for the Rangers, trying to battle and hang in this wild card race, that takes an emotional toll over the course of the season, but the physical one is the big one. And there are definitely relievers, all pitchers, but relievers that are up and have to be prepared every day. It's not the same certainly as playing a position every day, but there are definitely aches and pains. And for Joey Gallo, really figuring that out for the first time, what it's like to go wire to wire in a big league season.
Well, we have seen so many big players go down lately with injury. Now, those are not necessarily just due to the grind of a 162-game schedule. Some of them have been fluky and whatnot, but there are definitely a lot of bodies banged up right now. And Robinson Chirinos, who's been on such a great stretch for this team, as he's gotten hotter, he's been asked to play more and more. Did not play yesterday, but that was on the heels of 5 consecutive games started at catcher. And back in there tonight. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
You know, we have that conversation about pitchers and their innings all the time, right? Say, well, you know, this guy only threw X amount of innings last year. He can probably bump it up another, 20, maybe 30% if you're going to be aggressive. Well, you might be able to have that conversation a little bit with Robinson Chirinos. We've seen a big bump in innings caught behind the plate this year.
And he strikes out swinging. That's 3 strikeouts for Bridwell. We played 1.5. This one, a home run by Justin Upton in the first inning. Now they go to work in the second against Cole Hamels. And our power stats tonight brought to you by Kubota. Hamels has pitched well here. A 2-0 record, a 2.08 earned run average, and holding opposing hitters to a 170 batting average in this ballpark. This is his 5th start of the year against the Angels, most against any club this season. The 10th in his career.
Of course, we know Cole Hamels is a Southern California guy, so probably comfortable here. And even though this is a pretty good hitter's ballpark, you get into certain spots where you do feel comfortable. I got to imagine for Cole Hamels, he would tell you this ballpark is one of those for him.
We get to comebacker from Calhoun, and on one pitch, gets one out here in the second.
Does a nice job of fielding his position. This ball from Cole Calhoun takes a big hop, but Cole Hamels all over it, fields it cleanly. Perfect execution of the PFP, pitchers field in practice. Of course, they do that ad nauseum in spring training, but that's why you do it, so that you make these plays.
Well, good quick out to start the second inning for Hamels. And now Martin Maldonado. Maldonado has been a stalwart for this Angels team back behind home plate. .223 average this year, 14 home runs for him. You were talking about not just monitoring pitchers, but maybe worth monitoring catchers. And this by far the most work Maldonado has had to turn in any one season, and he has made more starts than anyone in big league baseball this year. Has caught more innings than anyone in big league baseball, and you can see it in the numbers in the second half. He might be flagging a little bit. Hit 179 in the second half, and his on base average 232. It's almost 100 points lower, his on base percentage.
His career high coming into the season as far as innings caught was just over 600. He is over 1,000 this year.
And he flies out to center field, 2 away here in the second inning.
Let's take a look at tonight's Rangers defense, which is delivered to you by Chicken Express. Willie Calhoun, Delano DeShields, and Shin-Soo Choo in the outfield for the Rangers. Drew Robinson gets the start at third. Elvis Andrus, Rougned Odor up the middle, and Joey Gallo back at first. We already talked about Robinson Chirinos behind the plate tonight with Cole Hamels. That's a big jump. I mean, you go from 600. He had 560 last year for Maldonado as Robinson Chirinos, but up over 1,000. But look at the options that they have here in Los Angeles, and Mike Sosa really likes Martín Maldonado. He does a good job behind the plate. So even though those offensive numbers have come down a little bit, I feel like they're a better team with Maldonado, even if he's not at 100%. Behind the dish over Juan Gratterall, their backup catcher.
Chopper first base for Valbuena, and just like that, the inning is done. A nice 1-2-3 for Cole Hamels, and so through 2 tonight, it's 1-0 LA. Time now for the Unlimited Baseball Break, brought to you by T-Mobile. And Cody Bellinger now 38 home runs, tying the National League rookie record for home runs. Wally Berger did it in 1930. Frank Robinson in 1956. Bellinger, of course, with 2 weeks left to go in the season.
It's been amazing to see what he has done this year. Even he had that little bit of a lull. He seems to be swinging the bat a lot better lately.
Red Sox yesterday with a big comeback win against Tampa Bay. 7 runs in the 15th inning of that one. That might have been overkill.
He just needed 1 at that point.
So here we go, 3rd inning tonight. And Parker Bridwell really sharp here in the first couple of innings. 3 strikeouts. He's retired all 6 batters he has faced. And attacking Odor with strike 1.
It's only been a couple of innings, but he certainly does look sharp. And whenever you see a situation like this, I mean, the Orioles essentially gave him away. They sold him to the Angels. And it's not like the Orioles are really deep in starting pitching, right? I mean, it's one thing. You just have a plethora of pitching, and you can afford to say.
Tough play over there by the Rangers dugout, and not getting any help. C.J. Cron gave it a good effort.
Yeah, he certainly did. This ball was up in the air for a long time, but ultimately C.J. Cron could not get to that one. But I was going to say, think about, use the New York Mets as an example. They traded Michael Fulmer to the Detroit Tigers, big trade for Yoenis Cespedes. So that made sense. Michael Fulmer at the time was buried behind what looked like a lot of good young starting pitchers in New York.
There's a 4th strikeout of the night for Bridwell.
You can't say that about Parker Bridwell and the Orioles. They are in desperate need of starting pitching. And check out this breaking ball that he just throws to Rougned Odor to give you an idea how good this guy can be. That is sharp, great location. Scott Boras missed it. It was a good one. He's looking at his phone in the background. Pay attention. You just missed a good curveball.
Yeah, he's cutting deals. Here's Willie Calhoun, and he takes a breaking ball for a strike.
For people maybe that are wondering what we're talking about, Agent's super agent, as he's often referred to. He doesn't wear a cape. I just think he's really good. Scott Boras, that is him directly behind the home plate umpire. You can see him throughout Angels games. There he is.
Look, if he wanted to wear a cape, he could.
With a big A.
Listen.
Pretty good run.
He's done well enough for himself that no one would question him. Go ahead, wear your cape. Off the plate, 1-2 to Willie Calhoun.
Give you one quick Scott Boras story. When I was in college, ended up getting drafted pretty high. The Colorado Rockies at the time had the 7th overall pick. And they came to me and they said, "Are you planning on using Scott Boras as your agent?"
Calhoun turns it foul.
And I said, "No." And they said, "Well, if you are, we will not draft you." So they said to me when I was in college, they said, "If you use Scott Boras as your agent or as a draft advisor, we will not draft you." That's what they said. Pretty amazing, right?
Well, when would you necessarily have to reveal that?
I mean, yeah, you can lie all day long, but they're trying to get information out of you and ask you that question. They had the 7th pick. I went a couple of picks later, but I mean, I wasn't planning on it anyway. But I thought it was pretty interesting. I mean, they were very direct and blunt. I don't know if they just had it that year. It was 1994. I don't know if they had any issues with some players that he had represented. I'm not sure.
Calhoun goes down swinging. That's 4 straight strikeouts for Parker Bridwell, and in fact, he has struck out 5 of the last 6 he has faced.
And the breaking ball is looking really sharp right now for Parker Bridwell. Willie Calhoun, as he goes back to the dugout. And listen, you can get information all day long. We've talked about that a lot this year. For a guy that these hitters haven't seen, you know, what does it look like? So, it's a pretty good breaking ball. It's going to be tough to lay off of. It doesn't mean that just because you know it's there and it's good that you'll be able to hold up. And so far, these Rangers hitters have not been able to.
Drew Robinson now, .219 average, 4 home runs. And he takes one in. Similar pattern, it seems like, for Bridwell. Gets a breaking ball in for a strike, comes usually up, maybe a little in on the next pitch. And now the 1-1. Fouled off for a strike.
And all 5 of the strikeouts so far have come on that curveball.
First time the Rangers have ever seen Parker Bridwell, and every time we came through, I kept thinking to myself, hey, that worked out well. Didn't have to see Bridwell. The Angels have had a lot of success when he has pitched this year. And there's a swing and a miss. He strikes out the side in order in the 3rd. The Angels are 15-2 in games in which Bridwell has played this year. Lead to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Tomorrow, the final game in our 3-game series in our AT&T pitching matchup tomorrow. Miguel Gonzalez will give it another shot for the Rangers. His first couple have not gone as expected. Garrett Richards, maybe the best stuff on this Angels staff, but he's been dealing with so many injuries this year, and he will have the ball for the Angels tomorrow. So a big task in front of Texas, not just here this evening, but again tomorrow afternoon. Cliff Pennington will start things off in this third inning, and he lines it to center field for a base hit. Lead man on for the Angels in this third inning. Time for us to take a Chevy game break. Let's check in with John Radigan. All right, thanks, John. So the Twins lost yesterday. In trouble again today. But as we said last night, the one thing that you have to worry about if you're one of the other teams in the race, there's really only one thing that you can worry about, and that's yourself. Keep your hands to yourself. Just take care of your own business.
Well, that is what it's going to take. You have to win, obviously, baseball games at this point in the season. Unfortunately, the Rangers have run into a cold streak here as of late.
Mike Trout lifts this one high in the air out to right field, but Chu able to get over there and underneath it. One gone here in the third inning. And it'll bring up Justin Upton, who has provided the offense in this game. It was his solo home run of the first inning that has been the scoring tonight. So the Twins continuing to hold on to that second wild card spot. And they haven't done anything tremendous yet in the second half. They haven't gone on one of those big runs, especially lately. They have played a similar style of baseball to everybody chasing them. That is to say, a couple wins, couple losses. But the Twins have also scored the most runs of any American League team since the trade deadline at the end of July. 7 games over 500. The Angels are 2 back. Rangers a full 5 games out. And with tonight's game, for a little perspective, the Rangers with 15 to play. So really nominal room for error.
What's so amazing, and there are a lot of things amazing, I think, about the Minnesota Twins right now, is that they're not doing it with very much star power, right? Joe Mauer is the biggest name on that roster probably, but not the Joe Mauer that people remember. Not the MVP level Joe Mauer. And there's not even a lot of numbers that jump off the page. You start digging in on the seasons that those guys are having, whether it be on the pitching staff or the hitters. There's not any real huge years. They're finding ways to win. They're scoring runs. They're getting contributions from all over the place. We saw them a few weeks ago. Saw a really good athletic defensive team. But they're an easy team not to believe in, I guess, if you look at them on paper. But they continue to get it done. That's a testament, I think, to Paul Molitor. You always got to give the manager some credit, but they have found a way.
Well, they have certainly churned out some runs. Bartolo Colon has really been a spectacular get for them. 2-2.
I'll not talk about when he, after a couple of starts that he had in Minnesota, he might shut it down. They're like, hey, he's probably going to retire here. Maybe he's going to make one more start. So we kept hearing. He just hung in there. Pitched very well against the Rangers.
Hamels ready in his 2-2 pitch, and that one is pulled foul. We talked about it earlier. Upton has been a terror on left-handed pitching this year. 5th best average against lefties in the American League at .342. And about the moment we said that, he homered. He has a .702 slugging percentage against left-handers. That's the best. And he takes up and away. So a full count now on Justin Upton with Albert Pujols waiting on deck. Upton, a lifetime .271 hitter against Cole Hamels, and he asked for time. Well, this is just the 14th game since Upton has joined the Angels. And he takes ball 4. So a 1-out walk. And now a couple of men on for the heart of this order. Hey, September 26th will be your next chance to take advantage of Fox Sports Southwest $10 Tuesdays. Tickets for the Astros-Rangers game, just $10. And you can add on a $10 meal deal when purchasing online. Just go to texasrangers.com/specials to get your $10 Tuesday tickets for September 26th using the coupon code FSSW10. So Upton at first. Pennington moves to second after the walk.
The walk came on a changeup from Cole Hamels, and as good as Justin Upton has been against lefties this year, that is one of the pitches that he has really struggled against from lefties. He's hitting just 143 on that pitch this year, only 1 home run against the left-handed changeup. You know, Cole Hamels has a good one. He just missed out of the zone.
Pujols with a big rip and a miss. 0-2 the count.
It's been 5 pitches, 5 strikes to Albert Pujols, who struck out back in the first inning on 3 pitches against Cole Hamels.
Hamels 11 for 45 against Cole Hamels with 3 home runs. And he takes strike 3, so 6 pitches, 6 strikes, and Pujols clearly did not like that call.
It's a great call. This is a call that you don't get very often in an 0-2 count. Probably Sam Holbrook was right behind the play. We'll take a look at this fastball. Cole Hamels wanted to go up and in. Look at the glove. They probably caught the corner. That's a good call. Again, you don't get that call very often, and as much as people say, well, what difference does it make what the count is? That's just a really tough call for a left-handed pitcher to get against a righty in an 0-2 count. You may get it 1-2, 2-2, and I know it sounds silly, but just trends do happen. How many times have we seen a 3-0 pitch that probably is not called a strike, say in a 0-2 count get called a strike? It happens.
Andrelton Simmons singled in the first inning. $14 home runs for him this year, 67 RBIs. And it is 2-0. He is our TXU Energy Power player to watch. Andrelton Simmons, if you would have said that a few years ago, people would have said, what? But look at this, new career highs in hits, doubles, RBIs, walks, and stolen bases.
He's having a really good year here. And remember, he's only in his age 27 season. I think it almost feels like Andrelton Simmons is a little bit older than that. And we hear it all the time, guys hitting their prime. When should that be? 26, 27, 28. And so here he is in what should be a prime year, and he's having a prime season.
He's always been a premium defender at a premium position, and you could argue the greatest defensive shortstop right now going. Now, this is the year that he has decided to significantly add offense to his game, and he takes ball 4, so the bases are loaded. And Hamels a little frustrated with himself.
And you see it there as Robinson Chirinos came out and said, give me the ball. You're right, there's some outward frustration right now for Cole Hamels. But with 2 outs, an opportunity to pitch around the base hit and the 2 walks right now. Chirinos, you want to stay in there. Cole Hamels walked around the back of the mound, and usually in that situation, your catcher says, okay, you don't want to talk? Fine. And go back. But Robinson Chirinos waited for him to come back, and there was a message that he wanted to deliver to Cole Hamels, make sure the communication was exactly where he wanted it to be. A little thing like that you don't think about, but that's a nice job by Robinson Chirinos. He wanted to have a meeting, and he made sure that he had it.
Well, there's a first pitch strike down to C.J. Cron, who is 0 for 1. He flew out to center field in the first inning. See Cron's numbers with the bases loaded in his career, .421 average, couple of grand slams. It's 1-1. Oh, we said it at the top of the broadcast today. This one tonight, this is about Cole Hamels being the ace of this staff and being that guy who the team knows has to be really good especially in spots like tonight. 1-2 the count.
Good elevation in the fastball, and really understanding C.J. Cron. That wasn't an accident. Robinson Chirinos wanted that ball up. He got it up, and Cron could not lay off of it.
Pennington is at third, Upton at second, Simmons at first for the Angels. They lead 1-0. The 1-2. Slow roller, shortstop. Andrews will have to hustle it on to first. And that will do it. Angels leave the bases loaded in the third. Now in the fourth inning, top of the order coming, Delano DeShields, Shin-Soo Choo, and Elvis Andrews in a 1-0 game. A 25-year-old right-hander for these Angels. And this guy has had a special season, and he's having a special night so far tonight. He has struck out 6 of the last 7 Rangers he has faced. 3 perfect innings under his belt, but now it's the second time through. And Delano DeShields will start things off in this 4th inning, and he takes strike 1.
The key here for Parker Bridwell so far tonight is his ability to get ahead in the count, which he has done, and then really use that curveball to get the strikeouts, the swings and misses. 5 of the 6 strikeouts have come on that pitch right there. That 80-mile-an-hour curveball. The other one in which he struck out Drew Robinson was the cutter, which is a little bit firmer at 88 miles an hour.
Bridwell 6'4", 185, and he gives up a bouncer up the middle, but Simmons can cover some ground, and he takes care of Delano DeShields for out number 1.
Let's take a look at the strikeouts here for Parker Bridwell so far tonight. I mentioned the really good use of the breaking ball. We'll take you back to the 2nd inning. There's Robinson Chirinos. You see Rougned Odor chasing the breaking ball. Willie Calhoun sees it as well. There's Drew Robinson going after that cutter at 88 miles per hour. And, you know, that only works if you're ahead in the count, right? You think about how you can get guys to chase that breaking ball. They're not going to do it, obviously, if they're ahead in the count. So Parker Bridwell's done a very nice job here so far tonight. 70% strikes for him, which has really allowed him to use that secondary stuff to generate swings and misses.
He goes 1-1 now on Choo. Choo flied out to left field in the 1st inning. Bridwell doesn't waste time.
How refreshing is that? I mean, to watch him, it's been an issue in baseball, something that our commissioner Rob Manfred has talked about, just in general pace of play. It'll be interesting to watch the minor league guys as they come up, this next generation of pitchers that have pitched under the pitch clock, whether or not that'll make a difference.
Routine bouncer to first. C.J. Cron handles it himself. And there are 2 away.
Right, it's almost like, you know, you're training guys, right? That pitch clock is instituted at the minor league level. So for guys that are coming up, haven't been to the big leagues yet, they're used to being forced to work a little bit faster, and they ultimately come accustomed to it and they're comfortable with it. And I just wonder if we'll see this next crop of guys as they make their way to the big league level, will they all kind of work a little bit quicker?
Well, certainly appears as if they're going to be forced to work quicker when they get here, when that pitch clock comes along with it.
What do you think? You think that's coming for sure?
I do. I think it's a better than even chance that is going to be instituted next year. I think right now that.
Oh, next year?
Yeah, I think next year. And I think it's just a matter right now of negotiating what the timing will be and if there will be a difference in the late innings versus the early innings. Is Andrews really smarting after fouling that one off his foot? Kevin Harmon out there. Got Bannister going out. This can't be happening, can it?
Let's take a look first of all at this pitch, this swing from the side here. And you see a catch. Elvis Andrews right on that. Looked like a left shin, calf area. No guard for Elvis Andrews, and that certainly hurt as you see him trying to walk it off.
Well, you think of the number of injuries that have beset this Rangers lineup in the last couple of weeks. He's going to be okay. I was going to say fine. He's not fine. He's okay.
He'll stay in.
That's what we would call playable. There's Harmon and Bannister back into the dugout. Yeah, I think it's coming. I was reading Ken Rosenthal's missive the other day in The Athletic, and from the sounds of it, the conversations coming out of Washington, D.C. when the union and ownership got together, both sides were seemingly agreeable about it.
We'll see. Maybe it won't be that noticeable. Maybe it's something they've said in the minor leagues that guys have gotten used to, and it's not a big deal. There's something about that for our sport, this core, that I don't love. But maybe it won't be a big deal. Maybe it'll be an easy adjustment and there'll be a difference. I mean, basically what we're doing is trying to make up for instant replay. Instant replay has slowed the game down. We keep hearing about pace of play. We made a big adjustment on television commercials. You'll notice, I'm sure, your viewing experience over the last couple of years, in and out, quick to break, quick back from break. You see first pitch almost right away. You come back from commercial. So TV has tried to do their part. That's been one adjustment, but we're constantly trying to make up for instant replay.
All right, could you see him pulling replay back just a smidge?
I don't know how you do it.
Unless you stuff that genie back in the bottle a little bit?
I don't think so. I mean, unless you can put a hard time limit on it.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's not going to happen because you got to make sure if you're going to do it, make sure guys got it right. So I don't think there is any way that we can change that. Now, baseball's done what they can to try to make sure that replays are happening quicker, and the average replay, I think, is down to 140 or just under, whatever it may be. But all these little adjustments that have been made are all about making up for instant replay. That has slowed the game down significantly.
Andrews waiting on a 1-2, and he takes just off the plate. Elvis struck out in the first inning. 0 for 1 so far tonight. Bridwell has retired the first 11 batters he has faced. It's 2-2. Bouncer, shortstop. Simmons right there. And it's another 1-2-3 for Parker Bridwell from Hereford, Texas. So the big fella dealing tonight. Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by your local Texas Ford dealer. Ford is the best in Texas. Well, Cole Calhoun, Martin Maldonado, and Luis Valbuena in this fourth inning against Cole Hamels. Worked himself out of a bases-loaded jam last inning. So he's had to deal with a little traffic tonight. But has held the Angels to just the 1 run so far. 6, 7, and 8 hitters. And here is Calhoun, who bounced back to the mound in the second inning. Hamels right in there with strike one. Cole Hamels, his last start was back at home against Seattle, and he pitched pretty well. It was a good bounce back outing for him. Maybe the Rangers won 5-3. But prior to that, he had to get a bounce back start because his 3 previous starts, including one against the Angels, were a little rough. He gave up 15 runs in 15 1/3 innings in a 3-start stretch, and that was, obviously very unlike Cole Hamels, a guy who has gone 32-9 since becoming a Ranger. They need him in the worst way tonight in his 0-2 pitch. Fouled off.
The nice job getting ahead. We were talking about Parker Bridwell. Well, Cole Hamels tonight, 13 of 15 first pitch strikes so far this evening. And this season, been 56%, which is a little bit low for Cole Hamels. Not a bad number by any means, but tonight he's been terrific.
Loves to pitch in this ballpark against his team. And he strikes out Calhoun, 1 away in this fourth inning. That's the 3rd strikeout tonight for Hamels.
Does a nice job here, first of all, getting ahead of Cole Calhoun and then finishing him off. Let's take a look at the strikeout pitch Robinson Chirinos calling for. That cutter away, and he got it away at 89 miles an hour.
Now he'll deal with Martin Maldonado. A big swing and a miss.
I'm talking about Maldonado earlier and some of the struggles and the fatigue is setting in. It is that time of year to mention that Mike Scioscia just feels like even if it's 80% or 70% of Martin Maldonado, it's still better than what they have as he tries to square a bunt. Kind of a shocker, but I was thinking about this too. It's got to be one of the most difficult things, right? Juan Graterol, the backup that we talked about. Martin Maldonado does a very nice job. How tough is it to be a catcher for Mike Scioscia? I mean, you gotta feel like you're under that microscope. You certainly can never come back and say, well, like to see you do it. Well, I did do it. Did it pretty well for a long time. I mean, I think obviously there's great pluses. Whether it's as a pitching coach who had really good success, a manager who was a great player at a certain position, but I gotta believe there's a little extra pressure there as well.
You're talking about a guy who not only caught for a long time, did it successfully, but strong personality and strong opinions on how things should be done. Whoa, look at that! Right at him. Look out, Skipper.
It's a fleet of foot. A little bit. I always enjoy talking to Mike Scioscia when you get that opportunity, listening to him talk about baseball. I see Mike Trout now having a laugh because nobody got hit.
2-2 now to Maldonado. Now, Scioscia, one of those guys. I mean, fans who watch him on TV, you see this guy who looks grumpy all the time. But he's a great baseball man, loves to talk the game, always engaging. And, off the field or whatever, in a context outside of what you see right there when he goes out, he's griping a lot. I will say that. During the games, he gripes a lot at umpires and whatnot. Outside of that, though, he's fantastic. 2-2, fly ball, short center field. The Shields closing quickly. Man, you have plenty of time at the end of it. They're 2 away.
Think about how many times we talk about that with players, right? Yeah, this guy's a really nice guy off the field, but a game day, don't cross him. He wants to kill you, essentially. You get those guys that are just assassins when the game starts. Now, for Mike Sosa, he's not a player anymore, but as a manager, that certainly can carry over. Once it's game time, personalities can change a little bit. That's a good thing. I hate to see, but it's tough to survive in this game if you take everything that happens on the field also off the field with you. You really got to be able to separate those two things, and I think from the managerial standpoint, certainly we see that with Mike Sosa.
Well, he's been here, 18 years now. They've had a lot of success under his leadership. He has been one of the real constants. 1-0, and Balbuena shows bunt. It's 2-0.
That's a miracle in today's game. I mean, 18 years. I don't know if we'll see that again. There's so much turnover now with managers and coaches. I'm not a big fan of the high turnover rate that we see.
Little tapper back to the mound. Hamels has to field the position again. That throws a strike to first, completing a 1-2-3. Bottom of the 4th inning. We go to the 5th. Angels by 1.
Favor of the Angels as we welcome you back to the Big A here in Anaheim. Game 2 of a 3-game set between these two teams. And before the game, Jake Diekman doing what Jake Diekman has done all season, an effort to try and raise awareness for IBD and Crohn's disease. He met with some folks from Connecting to Cure, which is a sister organization of Jake and Amanda, his fiance's organization that they established called the Gut It Out Foundation. So everyone trying to raise awareness for IBD and Crohn's and colitis disease. Jake has done these now in 5 cities where we've been on the road, and he's done countless of them at home. It really is admirable what Jake and Amanda are trying to do as far as raising awareness. And also remarkable, of course, what he's done on the field, guys.
Yeah, I think well said. As Beltre pops up for the first out of the 5th inning. What a year it has been for Jake Diekman. It's so much. You think about what he's done on the field, great, right? And he's gonna walk away from this year, I think, really proud of the way he was able to get back and perform this year. He's going to be really proud about the work he did off the field in raising awareness. But then he's going to be just super relieved and happy because he's going to be healthy for like the first time ever after 3 operations to, correct his condition.
As much as he was anxious to get back on the mound and excited to do it, there's probably an equal excitement to go through a full off season, and go through all your full training and think about the idea of going wire to wire next year.
Gallo smacks one sharply down into the right field corner. He'll head to second and put on the brakes. He was thinking 3, but he picked up Tony Beasley and pulled up with a 1-out double here in the 5th inning, and The Rangers had their first base runner tonight.
A good swing here from Joey Gallo and really good base running. You see there from Parker Bridwell, that pitch ends up being in, and Joey does a great job of getting the hands through, getting the barrel to that quickly on that inside pitch. And the reason, we talked about this yesterday at this ballpark, you always think a base ahead just in general, but those corners, both sides, left and right field, they're exactly the same. You just never know what kind of kick you're going to get. The outfielders have to be very careful when they go in. You can't go rushing into that corner because of the way that the ball bounces off. There's no consistency to it. Joey Gallo knew that. He went hard around first and was thinking triple, but Tony Beasley wisely held him up.
Now Chirinos, who has reached base safely in 28 consecutive games, longest current streak in Major League Baseball. And he struck out in the second inning. Normally, or so it has seemed on this stretch, he extends it in that first at bat. Today it's going to have to happen here in the middle or late innings. 1-0 Angels. Chirinos back in there. This 28-game streak, it's the best for a Ranger since 2012. Elvis Andrus reached in 32 consecutive games. High pop-up foul again, and the count 0-2.
Let's take a look at Robinson Chirinos and Brett Nicholas and the production that the Rangers have gotten since they've traded Jonathan Lucroy. Both of these guys have been really good. Now, of course, you know Robinson has been good the entire season. They've really gotten it done, right? Brett Nicholas, as good as he was doing in the minor leagues, was a big part of why the Rangers felt comfortable trading Jonathan Lucroy. And then, of course, also just the year that Robinson Chirinos was already having. These guys have really gotten it done. Jonathan Lucroy now with the Colorado Rockies was where he was traded. The Rockies hitting .269 with 1 home run.
Throw back to second base. Gallo able to get back there ahead of it. 1-2.
By the way, real quick, we finished up on that Jake Diekman conversation we were having. I am the proud owner of 4 gutted out t-shirts. Dave Raymond, that's your opportunity if you want to kind of support the foundation. They have done an excellent job. Jake has those gutted out t-shirts available at Athletes Brand. Kind of put a new one out. It seems like, I don't know, every few weeks or so. I'm not sure how exactly that works, and I know they just finished one, limited edition. They've done a nice job raising money that way.
Good block by Maldonado. The count 2-2 on Robinson Chirinos. We're in the top of the 5th inning, a 1-0 Angels lead here. Angels getting incredible pitching tonight from Parker Bridwell, young man from Hereford, Texas, just outside of Amarillo. A big-time quarterback at high school in Hereford. Played basketball as well. 2-2 pitch, and that's ball 3. He said he played baseball in high school, you know, just to kind of pass the time. His buddies were out playing. He didn't want to be home doing nothing, so he started playing baseball, and then as it turned out, he was pretty good.
It's amazing how that works, isn't it? So many of those good stories about guys that maybe weren't either good baseball players as amateurs or just didn't play very often. And all of a sudden they find themselves in the big leagues.
So he walks Chirinos, and now that stretch to 29 consecutive games. Chirinos just keeps doing it. 2 men on here for Rougned Odor.
We've done a nice job, I think, of putting the hex on Bridwell also, right? He had those strikeouts 5 in a row. He hasn't had one since, as you take a look at the consecutive games. So we'll take a look at the consecutive games here for Robinson Chirinos, and reaching a base this season, leading all Rangers with that active 29-game streak.
Well, these are consequential base runners here. A low-scoring game. Gallo in scoring position with a tying run out there at second. Chirinos, the potential go-ahead run at first. And the pitch to Odor. He smashes that one, but way foul. Bridwell, as great as he has been this year, and as great as he has been tonight, is not a lock to go deep in this game. Mike Scioscia has rarely allowed him to go very deep. Now, part of the reason he's even with the Angels is that the Orioles tried to convert him to a reliever this year. His frustration really grew this year with the Orioles organization. He's pitched with a bit of a chip on his shoulder here in Anaheim. I think trying to prove to the Orioles they may have made a mistake when they sent him down to the minor leagues and then tried to move him off the roster. Well, the Angels claimed him off waivers, made a trade for cash considerations or a player to be named later. Basically nothing. Bridwell was then immediately turned back into a starter by the Angels. Now it took some time in the minor leagues, but he has been dazzling for them. 1-2 now, the count on Odor.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing to see. Now you look at his minor league numbers overall over the course of his career, they weren't great. And so that's part of the reason you could understand why maybe the Orioles thought that he'd be better suited to be a reliever. But it didn't go down that way. It's why scouting is so important. The Angels saw something different. They thought there was something there as a starter, and it certainly does appear that they were correct.
Odor fouls another one away. 1-2 the count. Well, they have certainly stumbled on something or helped develop something in Bridwell this year.
He wasn't even that great in AAA with the Angels. 2-3 with an ERA 4.28. Strikeouts were good. The walk rate was good. It wasn't like he went and dominated. Now at Salt Lake City, talking about elevation,
yeah,
they got it there a little bit. It's a tough place to pitch.
One of many tough places to pitch in that league.
That league, the PCL, that's where pitchers go to die. Minor league free agent pitcher, you try to stay out of the PCL at all costs.
Colorado Springs, Albuquerque, Salt Lake.
Albuquerque, New Mexico is the worst place to pitch on earth, I'm convinced. Of all the places I've been, and I've been to a lot, it's a beautiful ballpark.
Yeah, it is.
But really, really tough place to pitch.
Odor with a little bloop out towards short left field. It's Simmons who goes way out from shortstop and makes the play. 2 gone here in the 5th inning. Now you're at altitude up there, the wide open plains or plateau or whatever it is in Albuquerque. That wind, the wind there is usually, it's just somewhere between 40 and 70 miles per hour blowing out. I mean, it is something. Two gone, but 2 men on for Willie Calhoun, who has 1 big league base hit to his ledger, and it was in his first at bat as a Texas Ranger. What a big spot it would be right here for his second. So he takes one off the plate for ball 1. Bridwell started with 4 perfect innings before giving up the double to Gallo this inning, walking Chirinos. One 1-0 to Calhoun. And that'll even it up. Bridwell, it was before his senior year of high school, the summer before, and his high school coach kind of at the last second got an invitation for him to go to the Texas Rangers area code games. And that's where his first real exposure to scouts and whatnot came from. He got on everybody's radar. Calhoun pops this one up. Foul ground, first base side, and that one ends up a souvenir. And then the colleges took note as well. Texas Tech asked Bridwell to come. They wanted him to play football and baseball with the Red Raiders. He committed to Texas Tech, but then was drafted and went ahead and signed as he deals strike 3 called to Calhoun. Backdoor curveball, and he works around 2 base runners in the 5th. We're halfway there so far tonight. 1-0 Angels. as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning tonight. And our final Throwback Thursday is going to be September 28th. Rangers opening game against the A's at final series of the year. First 10,000 fans are going to get a Papa John's Texas Rangers Throwback Thursday collector pin. And this pin commemorates Adrian Beltre's 5 gold gloves. Get your tickets at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS. All right, bottom of the 5th inning here. A 1-0 game. And the 9th place hitter, Cliff Pennington, will start things off for the Angels. Hamels got himself in a little trouble in the 3rd inning, but pitched out of a bases loaded situation. Was perfect in the 4th inning then. And a second look at Pennington, who singled off of him in the 3rd inning. 1-1 the count. Big swing and a miss. Hamels with 3 strikeouts so far tonight. Now, that's not a huge part of his game these days, but you never look those in the mouth when you get that gift horse.
And strikeout rate is down for Cole Hamels. 6 strikeouts per 9 is the rate, and the walk rate is right at 3. But he has been a guy, of course, over the course of his career where that strikeout rate has been much higher at times, but he's still pitching well, even though there's been more contact and not nearly as much swing and miss. Still having a very good season.
A high pop up back of second base, and Odor is right there for it. Oh, one away. Time for a Chevy game break. Let's check in again with John Radigan. Yeah, and they clinch, celebrate, and it's that time of year. We're seeing a lot of that now as Mike Trout stands in and takes a strike. Trout 0 for 2 tonight. So he's been quieted so far by Cole Hamels, and a tough guy to keep out of the box score. And he goes around, it's 0-2.
Mike Trout went with the Adrian Beltre move there. I don't think he was trying to be funny, but he was so concerned that Sam Holbrook was going to call this a swing that he immediately asked Holbrook to ask the first base umpire instead, DJ Rayburn, but he did not get the result that he wanted.
One of the most versatile and effective hitters, offensive weapons in the game, Mike Trout. Whether it's the power, the speed, the high on base. Today batting leadoff. And he takes high. It's 2-2. Hey, really, when you talk about the combination of those, you can put Mike Trout in a very small group, and depending on how you want to parse the numbers any given day. Full count. But I'm a big fan of this one right here. 190 home runs, 160 steals in the first 7 seasons of their big league careers. Darryl Strawberry and Mike Trout, that's it.
Power and speed, that is not something we see very often in the game anymore. I think that's something that is absolutely worth noting. And get further and further away from that. You just don't see it. Most of the guys that slug generally don't run very well. Mike Trout's a pretty exceptional athlete.
It's also, to me, it's also a reminder of how incredible Darryl Strawberry was when he came up. The potential and the excitement around him was so great, and for obvious reasons. Now, same for Trout, and we'll see if he's able to extend that run. And he walks near the 5th inning and once again reaches base. We made the point last night, there's only been 6 games this year that he has not reached safely, which is kind of startling.
That's nuts. I mean, the 453 on base percentage coming into tonight's game.
I know everybody appealing down to first, and Upton did not go around on that one. Upton with a home run in the first. He walked in the 3rd. And Hamels will chase Trout back to the bag. Now Trout, is why we bring it up, the power and the speed. He stole a base the other day, now with 21 of them. I said the other day, it was yesterday.
I stolen one the other day as well.
Yeah, well.
Safe assumption.
Clearly, if you've got 21 of them. Ground ball shortstop. Andrews to second for one. And the relay to first in time for the 6-4-3 double play. The inning is over. We go to the 6th inning tonight. 1-0 Angels. Time for the Sonic Slam inning, brought to you by Sonic Drive-In. Our jackpot tonight is $100 plus dinner for two at Sonic Drive-In. Patty K. Smith from Allen, Texas. She is our contestant tonight, looking for a Rangers home run that would get her $100 and maybe even rooting for a grand slam, because that would get her an additional $25,000 if it happens here in the 6th inning. Drew Robinson will lead things off. Robinson 0 for 1 with a strikeout, and he swings and misses at the first pitch he sees.
And of course, Parker Bridwell, we talked about the great swings and misses, the strikeouts that he racked up early. He has slowed down here over the last couple of innings. He had 10 swings and misses through his first 3 innings of work, but just 1 in his previous 2. Now we saw, of course, Drew Robinson go after that pitch, and now make it 2 swings and misses over his last 2+.
0-2. And that time, Robinson able to fight off the curve. Well, Drew getting an opportunity today to play third base. And maybe more importantly, get some at-bats. And it is one of the challenges for young players when they're called up in September. And for that matter, Drew's been up and down a handful of times this year. This is his 4th go-round with the big club. You've got to learn how to manage the fact that you don't get regular playing time. Robinson lines this one sharply out to right field. The right to Calhoun, 1 away. One gone, and now here comes Delino DeShields, and for a little more on what he's got going these days, we check in again with Emily.
Yeah, Delino really asserting himself with the opportunity he's been given in center field with the Carlos Gomez injury. And talking to Jeff Bannister today, he says the winning combination is putting that offense and the defense together. We know what he can do on the base paths. We know what he can do at the plate. He said what's been most impressive to him is what he's seen his defense do and how he's seen that come around, being more communicative in the outfield when he's in that center field position, moving his fellow outfielders around, really taking ownership of that position, also running better routes, getting to the ball quicker, seeing things come off the bat better. And we know what he can do with his speed, guys.
Yeah, there's no doubt. When that one was not grabbed cleanly by Valbuena, you knew he was on. So DeShields with an infield hit. Man on here in the 6th inning.
Well, Delano DeShields will also put a little bit of extra pressure on defenses as he hits this ball pretty hard to Luis Valbuena, and he goes to his left and lays out. But once he doesn't come up with it cleanly, he's got no chance of even thinking about trying to recover and throw out Delano DeShields.
Now, you brought up something in the pregame today, and that is that nobody has stolen a base this season on Parker Bridwell. We'll see if Delano maybe makes an attempt at that in this 6th inning, a 1-0 game.
Well, you got a good athlete who's quick to the plate, with a good thrower in Maldonado behind home plate, and you got a great runner in Delano DeShields. So this is one of those fun times in the game and a great challenge here for Delano if he decides to go.
Chu hammers this one out to right field. Calhoun goes back and reaches up to make the catch. Boy, that's all positioning right there. That one got out to Calhoun in such a hurry that if he is not where he was positioned, good chance that one finds the warning track.
Oh, absolutely. And you see where he's played, and he gets there in plenty of time. But if he's not playing deeper, if he's shaded down the line, say to play Chu to pull, whatever it may be, of course he's not a dead pull hitter, then that's a different story. So they had him played pretty well, and a frustrating at bat for Chu, who smoked that baseball.
Well, 2 rockets out to right field this inning. Now Elvis Andrus. Shields leaning at first.
Selfishly, I want to see him go.
Me too.
I'm not saying it's the right play right now. I mean, certainly the idea of him getting into scoring position for Elvis would be great. And then worst case scenario, you have Elvis Andrus leading off the next inning. But I just want to be entertained right now.
Yep. No, I'm with you.
Cat and mouse game.
I think you make a good argument that it's an aggressive, albeit calculated risk if you want to send him. There aren't many quicker if he feels like he can get a read on Bridwell, and I guess I would leave it to his discretion there. And I would tell him to bolt. I would encourage him.
You don't know what position he played football, do you?
Quarterback, and he was a great one. Yeah. This one lined sharply into center field. Base hit. DeShields got a great start. He ends up at third, and the ball's bobbled, but they will stop him at third base.
A couple of hard hit balls here for the Rangers. One for an out by Chu, but then also Delano DeShields hit one hard for his base hit, and Elvis Andrus squared this baseball up extremely well. There's the pitch up in the zone a little bit. Great swing that we have seen all season long from Elvis Andrus. And we see Mike Trout as he fields this ball, bobbled it a little bit, but it was hit so hard that Delano DeShields was not able to take advantage of it. He was running hard the entire way, but the ball got out to Mike Trout pretty quickly, and so nobody was able to take advantage of the bobble.
Well, now the tying run down at third base. After a quick meeting on the mound, how about this? The shortstop Simmons over to third base to whisper some information that was gathered out there on the hill to Valbuena, and now everybody will meet again.
Charles Nagy, the pitching coach, heads out here for the Angels, and we have seen Parker Bridwell get a little bit up in the zone with some of his pitches. Just 1 strikeout over his last 2 2/3 innings of work after he struck out 6 through the first 3. So certainly some fatigue there, it does appear, and the Rangers have been taking advantage, and now they're hoping that Adrian Beltre can cash it in. See the right-hander Middleton up in the bullpen now. He left the game a couple of nights ago, right before the Rangers got here. Looked like he might have been dealing with a little bit of an injury or blister issue, but obviously he is fine. Big right-handed arm that Mike Sosa has down in that bullpen.
Shields at third, Andrus at first. Pitch to Beltre in the dirt. Good block by Maldonado. If that one gets past him, the Shields will score from third.
Delano DeShields has got some room for an aggressive secondary lead. Valbuena will play a little bit deep with Adrian Beltre up right now. Not worried about Adrian bunting for a hit, and certainly a good right-handed hitter, and so you want to give yourself a little bit of extra room so he plays back. And that works in Delano's advantage for any balls that are in the dirt.
Slow chopper left side. Valbuena Makes a true throw to first, and the inning is done. So the Rangers had him on the corners, but can't get anybody home, and Bridwell threw 6 scoreless innings tonight. As we head to the bottom of the 6th inning, and a reminder, Sunday, October 1st is going to be Fan Appreciation Day. Chance for you to come out and the Rangers to celebrate the greatest fans in baseball. Rangers taking on the A's, 2:05 game, final game of the regular season. Go to TexasRangers.com to purchase your tickets for Fan Appreciation Day. All right, Cole Hamels. I'll have to do a little more work here in the 6th inning. He has the heart of the order coming. Pujols, Andrelton Simmons, and C.J. Cron. Pujols with a little tapper along the third base line. Chirinos grabs, throws in time, and only because Pujols these days finding it so difficult to get down the line.
There was almost a pause there from Robinson Chirinos and Cole Calhoun to say, well, so much time had passed by, there's probably not going to be a play at first. We see even Cole Hamels there. Look at the look on his face. Say, oh, man, I can't believe he just got a base hit off of me. But Robinson Chirinos sticks with the play. Watch this here. As Cole realizes, I'm not going to get a play, and even that little hesitation, but Robinson did not stop, and they were able to get Albert Pujols. We've talked about this a lot this year, right? That internal clock.
Yep.
You have kind of an idea, even for the slower runners, you have an idea about how much time you have. And you kind of forget how bad right now that Albert Pujols is running. There's another second or so in there. And that's the only reason that they were able to get him.
There's a bruised left knee and had a lubrication injection into that knee about a week and a half ago. It just sounds awful to me. By the way, that would have been a double for Delano DeShields.
Probably.
But a 2-3 putout, and now Andrelton Simmons, who is singled and walked.
And that's not the first time in this series that we have seen Albert Pujols had to really push it and leg one out. So I'm sure there's some frustration on his part as well.
Swing and a miss makes it 1-2 now on Simmons.
That's that good changeup, and that's a great pitch to Andrelton Simmons. Such an aggressive swinger, does not get deep into counts. Perfectly located just below the zone, starts out a strike, finishes a ball. Simmons certainly a guy who is not afraid to swing the bat.
One away, nobody on base. And Hamels gets him to serve this one out to center field. DeShields angling back to his left. 2 away.
just as we were talking about last inning with Emily Jones. It's a nice play there by Delino DeShields, coasting into the right center gap, making it look easy. You know, it's interesting to watch here with Delino defensively, getting these opportunities and taking advantage. I'm not a big believer. You watch him here. Illinois' right, he was perfectly positioned as well and makes an easy play. I'm not a big believer in the defensive metrics that are out there. It's a nice theory, but they just don't really get the job done. You really can't count on them consistently, unfortunately. But Delino DeShields a couple of years ago was what we would call a negative defender. He had a -9 defensive run save. And basically meaning if you threw Joe Average outfielder out there, would be a 0. And Delino was a negative. I can't buy into that. That alone I can't buy into. Well, this year he's +6. So the difference from him in the outfield from 2 years ago, when he's getting all that regular playing time, -9 this year, +6. I'm not saying he hasn't improved. There's no doubt that he has, but it's hard to believe that he would be a -9.
2-1 to C.J. Cron. Yeah, a lot of conversation today about that in Jeff Bannister's office. Just the overall improvement and the trajectory of his defensive game out there in center field, and for that matter, in left field, and where it has come in the last couple of years. Man, with some pretty elaborate praise for what Delino has done and who Delino is. Not just that he has made those improvements, but well, you know, he talked about the raw abilities and skills that Delino brings. Let's face it, there's some top class speed out there with DeShields, and the route reading and abilities, those seem to be where the greatest improvement has been. Again, according to some of the metrics, but bottom line is he's been good. 3-2 pitch, and that is ball 4. Cron works the walk. With 2 outs here in the 6th inning, the Angels have a base run.
Yeah, what makes those metrics so hard for me to believe in, you see some guys that really fluctuate, and I know you can go into a slump defensively, but some of the stuff, Mike Trout is such a great example of that in 2012. He was a +21 defensive run saved center fielder. The next year he went to -11. You're gonna have a 32-run swing in 1 year for that guy right there. It makes it so difficult to believe in. I love the thought, I love the idea of being able to put a number on a defender, saying here's what he does compared to an average center fielder, compared to the rest of the league. Because we're always trying to search for ways. How do we compare these guys defensively without having to watch each and every player every single day? And I just don't think there's a number there that exists that allows us to do that just yet. But the bottom line is this. That guy has made some really nice improvements, and the Rangers are comfortable with him getting regular innings in center field.
Well, not to look too far ahead, but you know, Carlos Gomez, a free agent this offseason, and you do begin to think about what the plans might be and how the outfield shapes up next year. Who might be the center field candidate? And certainly Delino, the guy you could imagine the Rangers going to camp saying, well, we think he is going to be the everyday guy, more or less.
What's nice is you can put him in center or you can put him in left, right? So you have that flexibility. So if there's a player that's available, let's just say there's maybe a better center fielder you can get your hands on, whether it means bringing Carlos Gomez back, some kind of trade, whatever it may be. Well, okay, that means we can just slide Delino DeShields over left. If there's a really good left fielder that becomes available that the Rangers would like to add, no problem. We have Delino in center. Having that kind of flexibility going into your offseason, getting a good look at it this season is a huge help for the front office.
Strike in there to Calhoun, 3-1 the count. Calhoun has bounced back to the mound and struck out tonight. Hamels with 3 punch outs this evening, but he's also issued 4 walks. This will be his 80th pitch of the night. 3-1. And a little number foul. Well, the Rangers needed a big start tonight from Cole Hamels, and to this point they have gotten it. There was only one moment there where he was getting a little wobbly in the 3rd inning with the bases loaded, but he got out of it without giving up any additional runs. The only run he's allowed was on the home run to Justin Upton's 2nd batter he faced tonight. He made the big pitches when he's needed to. Runner goes, and a swing and a miss. Strike 3 gets Calhoun. 4th strikeout tonight for Cole Hamels. And now off to the 7th we go. Joey Gallo will lead things off for the Rangers. And Robinson Chirinos and Rougned Odor down by a run. Here in Anaheim, a 1-0 lead for the Angels as we go to the 7th. Hey, don't miss the last post-game fireworks show of the season. It's going to be Friday, September 29th. Game 2 of the series against the Oakland A's. Back at Globe Life Park, stay after the game for a fireworks show set to the players' walk-up music. Fans can get a 20% discount on upper reserve tickets for this Friday home game. Just go to TexasRangers.com/specials and purchase your tickets for Fireworks Friday. Angels right-hander Parker Bridwell out again in this 7th inning. He'll go with a breaking ball to Joey Gallo for ball 1.
Bridwell has thrown 7 innings in 4 of his 16 starts. He did pitch into the 8th inning once this season. You think about the bullpen that they have here with the Angels. It's a good bullpen. You've seen the arms down there. It's a deep bullpen right now. It's September. Mike Scioscia not afraid to use arms, but he's got some good ones. I gotta believe after last night, though, he loves the idea of Bridwell coming out and giving him innings, right? I mean, they went out and they used Bud Norris yesterday. At one point was the closer. It was basically a bullpen. It was like a spring training game yesterday. Using the entire bullpen to throw the game, and then you get a starter comes out and gets into the 7th inning for you. You must be thrilled with that.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's what they needed, no doubt. If ever there were a night where he was going to ride Bridwell a little deeper into the game, it would be tonight. But it's just a 1-0 game, one pitch, and things could change in a hurry as it goes to 2-2 to Joey Gallo. Gallo broke up what at the time was a perfect game in the 5th inning. He had the double. Chirinos would later walk in the inning. Holds off here, and that one just a little bit outside. It's a full count. Bridwell, a 9th round selection in 2010. Drafted by the Orioles. And leaves that one high. A leadoff walk in the 7th inning. And that will usually raise a manager's antenna. Here comes Mike Scioscia, in fact, out of the dugout. And he is already signaled. So that is it for Bridwell. He puts the potential tying run on base in this 7th inning. A 1-0 game. He pitched well, but he turns it over to his bullpen in the 7th. Way up high tonight at the Big A here in Anaheim. Hey, Rangers fans, download the Fox Sports Go app and take Rangers baseball with you wherever you go. If you can't catch the games on TV, you can still stream them live on your mobile device with the Fox Sports Go app, presented by AT&T and Hyundai. All right, Keenan Middleton has come on here in the 7th inning.
I mentioned on Thursday he left the game. Wasn't anything significant, although it sounded like it at the time, a right ulnar nerve irritation, but here he is just a couple days later. And a guy with a really big arm. Mike Sosa likes this guy a lot. The home runs have been a little bit of an issue for him this year, but they like what they have seen, and in a big spot here now he's going to come in. Middleton's fastball averaging 97 miles an hour this year. He's got a slider 88 and a changeup at 89.
Well, Robinson Chirinos will be the first man he deals with here. Man on in the 7th inning, nobody out. 1-0. Angels on top. Chirinos walked in the 5th, extending his streak now to 29 consecutive games in which he has reached safely. He would love to get Gallo to second base. He swings and misses at strike 1. Chirinos did not play last night after his 5 straight starts. But how about the previous 7 games? Went 9 for 20. His average has jumped appreciably in the last couple of weeks. He's up to 271 now for the year. And Middleton breaks away from the rubber.
Yeah, I mentioned the home runs, how they have been an issue. Robinson Chirinos has had a great power year. Well, Middleton has allowed 11 home runs this season. That is tied for 3rd most among American League relievers. Chris Beck leading all of the American League with the 14 that he has allowed this year with the White Sox. So that's a lot of home runs for a big arm here with the Angels.
1-1 the count on Chirinos. Is that one down in the dirt? Middleton, young guy, just recently turned 24 years old. In fact, less than a week ago celebrated his 24th birthday. Native of Oregon. He attended Milwaukee High School in Oregon and then went to Lane Community College, where while on the baseball team he also played basketball. Was a good basketball player, a shooting guard. Chirinos fouls this one away, and the count 1-2.
And this is his first taste of the big leagues, his rookie season, and not surprising to see some fatigue. You go back and look now at his last 12 games, 10 innings pitched. He's allowed 14 hits, 7 runs, 4 home runs in those 10 innings. He does have 12 strikeouts, so he's still getting the swings and misses, but hitters have been catching up to him a little bit. Not surprising. Again, big arm, but first full year in the big league, so the fatigue factor may be setting in a little bit for him this year.
Chirinos swings and misses at strike 3. That one at 99 miles per hour.
Fastball is definitely still there. He does a nice job of elevating it against Robinson Chirinos. It is so difficult to catch up to these. You think about fastballs. We had that conversation about Matt Bush a lot this year. Even though Maldonado wanted this ball down and away, it's the kind of pitch where you can miss your spot and it can still be really effective. Those high fastballs look so tempting to hitters, but yet they're so difficult to catch up with, especially at 99.
Well, now Ruben Odor, and he'll take one a little bit high. That one at 98 miles per hour. Odor, a guy who with one big swing, and Lord knows we have seen it plenty of times, 29 times this year. Well, he could turn this game right around.
And Middleton, not a guy necessarily where splits come into play. 277 against lefties, 276 against righties this year. It's a high batting average against, but it's been both lefties and righties doing the damage.
1-1 to count. Well, you talk about guys with pop in the middle of the diamond. Rougned Odor, the last 2 seasons, 62 home runs. Only Brian Dozier has hit more. Of course, we're headed to Seattle after tomorrow's game to see a little more of Robinson Cano. Middleton, the power pitcher against Odor, very much a power hitter.
So they're just doing the wave here. They just announced the crowd, 40,000. Did you notice what I noticed? The sound of the wave. A few more teenage girl screams in there. Picking up on that?
I did not pick up on that.
There's a Jonas Brothers concert after the game. And I think some of those Jonas Brothers fans have made their way into the stadium already. I know you heard it right there. See, now you're listening for it.
Higher pitch. You're right. Runner goes. Pitch is high and away. The throw to second. Not in time. Stolen base for Joey Gallo, number 8 on the year.
The success rate has been really impressive with Joey Gallo this season. 8 for 9. He's only been caught stealing once. He picks his spots, and he picks them well. And it wasn't a very big lead by Joey Gallo. And the short hop throw allows him to get underneath the tag from Andrelton Simmons.
Oh, did he come off the bag, though, after he was clearly safe?
Well, that is what Andrelton Simmons is saying.
And so hand comes off, and his leg is on Simmons' leg, not on the bag. Oh. Watch this.
Yep, and you're going to see this right here.
Clearly safe.
Did it come off?
It comes off, and he thinks his foot's on the base, or at least it's the best he can do. He couldn't quite get to it because Simmons was blocking it.
Well, they're going to look at it. Mike Sosa's already asked them to look at this, and that's going to be a tough break for the Rangers.
The one thing that wasn't evident on that last look was part of his shin maybe leaning on the bag somewhere.
Maybe. Joey Gallo looks frustrated. He's looking up and watching the replay on the big screen, but yeah, you see it right there. As his hand came off. Yeah, you know what's interesting from that view is how far Simmons' foot was in front of the bag. I looked at it the first time, I just assumed it was on the bag. And listen, you're allowed to do that. I believe this thing is going to be turned over. That's a tough break. I know we talk about this a lot with replay, but Joey Gallo stole that base. Yeah. He got there, and it wasn't like he couldn't hold the bag. That's another thing. I will say that for guys that steal a base but can't hold the bag because of the slide, I'm okay with that getting turned over. But this is a situation in which he was basically blocked out.
Yep. So caught stealing. Now, I go back to this argument on this. To me, he should get credit for a stolen base.
Yes.
And then there should be a put out given to Simmons because he did steal the base. He was there successfully before the throw. He was safe. It was only because of the oddity coming off the bag portion of it that results in him being out. But it will not work that way. It is not a stolen base.
I'm with you on that. I agree with that. Unless the guy can't hold the bag on his own. That's, again, it is part of it. We have to be able to hold the bag. But in that situation with Joey Gallo, yeah, I believe he deserves credit for it.
Yeah, I understand the argument, right? Is it, otherwise you just run through the bag, right? Like it was first base. It's stolen base. Yep. Yeah, you got me, but I got the stolen base. Part of stealing the base is holding the bag. So I think there's a fair argument to be made that way as well. 2 out. And Odor waiting on a 2-2 pitch. Middleton to the plate, and that one buried. It's a full count.
Like what you said earlier, you were talking about Middleton and the other sports that he played, right? Basketball player, and we talked about it with Bridwell, really good quarterback. It is a scout's dream. I think it's really important for parents to understand that there is so much specialization in youth sports. You will not find a college or pro scout who wishes that any player who was one-dimensional, who played one sport, as an amateur player, even in their early years. They love multi-sport athletes.
Swinging on this, strike 3, and Odor strikes out. The inning is done. Boy, Keenan Middleton comes on, a couple of strikeouts, a caught stealing, and just like that, it's stretch time. 1-0 Angels. Brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by AT&T Internet. Visit AT&T.com/keepcalm to learn more. Well, beautiful Saturday night here in Anaheim where the Angels lead 1-0 in a pitcher's duel. See, just 6 combined hits in this one. Cole Hamels has done just about all a guy can do, but trails by a run. Bottom third of the order do Martin Maldonado, Luis Valbuena, and then Cliff Pennington. The 3 of them combined 1 for 6 tonight. So Hamels has done a good job of taking care of business against the bottom third of the order, and that's, I guess, in contrast to last night. Last night, the Rangers dropped the opening game of this series. A 7-6 game, a close one. And the bottom of the order, though, for the Angels did a lot of that damage. 2-1. Oh, look, it's the way it goes down sometimes. But the 5 through 9 hitters last night for the Angels drove in 6 of their 7 runs, scored 4 of them.
0 for so far tonight with just the 1 walk. CJ Cron, but you get so focused on the top of this order. Brandon Phillips not in there tonight. When you go Phillips, Trout, Upton, Pujols. That's right, Chad Pennington does have 1 base hit. I take that back. So 2 runners have reached 5 through 9, but not that you forget about the bottom of the order, but you do get focused on what's going on the top, the big names, getting those guys out, talk about the players that you don't want to beat you. And last night, the bottom of the order really came through. Cole Hamels has done a good job neutralizing those guys so far tonight.
Well, a full count. And the 3-2 is strike 3 called. Big strike out of Martin Maldonado to start things here in the bottom of the 7th. All right, with that one away.
Now let's take a look at this pitch here from Cole Hamels. Looked like it might have been the backdoor cutter. There it is. Just catches the corner at 88 miles an hour. Maldonado a little bit frustrated by that pitch, but that is perfectly located. That pitch is a ball most of the way. That little cut at the end and catches the corner of the strike zone.
So 1 away. And now Valbuena takes ball 1.
And for Cole Hamels, what he's waiting on this game, and he's been great so far. First of all, he wants to finish this inning, of course. Such a competitor, and the pitch count is pretty good at 88. I like some of that run support that he's been getting all year. Better than 8 runs per game for Cole Hamels this season. He's got an excellent run support. That's why you see the good 10-3 record.
It's 1-1. Valbuena, slow roller out to the right side. And Odor right there on top of it. 2 away. All right, time for a Chevy game break once again. Let's check in with John Radigan. Yeah, good point, John. And with the Dodgers going through an historical slide of their own. But that's okay. Diamondbacks not worried about that right now. It was a bunt attempt by Pennington, goes foul for a strike. I think Diamondbacks just happen to be playing well like they are right now as they're preparing for the postseason. They're going to host the wild card game, at least as it now stands, and then take their chances. I like that team.
It's a good team. No doubt. Starting rotation is probably, let's say, undervalued, underappreciated a little bit. Maybe people not paying that close of attention to what the Diamondbacks are doing. Rotation is good. Archie Bradley has been huge in their bullpen. They have some good pieces. Very good offense as well.
0-2 the count on Pennington. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th, a 1-run game.
It's turning into one of those years where you may get a wild card winner that has more wins than a team that won a division. The Diamondbacks 86 wins, the Cubs just 82, and they're leading the Central.
A little high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Cole Hamels trying to get through the 7th inning. His next pitch will be his 95th of the night. Not bad, but all things considered, it'll be interesting to see what Jeff Bannister would decide to do. First, he's got to get rid of Pennington here, who has a hit in 2 tries. Ooh.
Cole Hamels wanted that one, and understandably so. The pitch before that was just above the strike zone, and this one looked like it finished at the bottom of the strike zone, but ended up where the call from home plate umpire Sam Holbrook said no. But even Robinson Chirinos gave the kind of sideways head tilt as to say he believed it was a strike.
Stays 3-2 on Pennington. Getting the start today at second base. Brandon Phillips left the game early yesterday. Not in the lineup today. The Angels trying to work around that a little bit. And another foul ball. Pendleton stays alive.
He is really Terry Pendleton.
You know, Terry Pendleton should be MVP. Wait, he was.
Pennington is really making Cole Hamels work right now. You know he wants to finish off this inning. This has been a tough at bat.
Bouncer shortstop. Andrews fires over, and it's in time, and it's another 1-2-3 for Cole Hamels. He takes us to the 8th inning in a 1-run game. As we go to the 8th inning, these teams each with 3 hits. Looking ahead, tomorrow we'll wrap up this series, and our progressive upcoming schedule shows you it's off to Seattle. A week up there in the Pacific Northwest. Monday, an off day the team will enjoy in Seattle, and then down back to the Bay Area for a weekend series in Oakland. It'll put an end to the road season for the Rangers, and will then head home for the final homestand of the year. Just 15 games remaining, with this one counting in those 15. Now, during the break, we got a look in the dugout, and I'm guessing here, CJ, it looks like Cole Hamels is asked to go out for another inning.
Yeah, I like that conversation. You're going to see Doug Brocail right here. As soon as they finish up, look at Jeff Bannister and go, he's good.
My favorite part there is Brocail. He's good. Walk away. Don't have no more conversation. Let's just get out of here. I don't want to hear anything.
Short and to the point. You want to stay in a game. Cole Hamels obviously has done this for a long time. You don't leave it open for debate or discussion. Say, yeah, I'm fine. I'm good to go. Cam Bedrosian now will be on here for the Angels. We saw him in last night's game. Struggled a little bit. Didn't look that comfortable, but he is back out there again tonight trying to hold on to this one-run lead.
I dare say he did not look good at all yesterday. Bedrosian misses with ball 1 here to Willie Calhoun. And it's got to be a little bit of a concern for Mike Scioscia. Bedrosian yesterday faced 3 hitters. Gave up a couple of hits and a walk and was out of there with the bases loaded. That one's low, and it's 2-0 to Calhoun. And this is where I, as a manager, that stomach starts to churn a little bit because it's a 1-0 game. His starter dealt. Middleton came in, did the job, but you got to keep moving, and the other guys have to continue to carry the baton. And Bedrosian's had trouble with that lately. Calhoun pops this one up down the left field line. Upton long run, but that wall was a little too close for him. He heard footsteps.
That's a tough play for an outfielder, and you know that wall's getting closer and closer, and you think about, okay, well, you got to slow down here a little bit. You can't go into the wall full speed, but you're still trying to make this play. Justin Upton almost there, and even the slide play there would have been tough. I don't think he would have been able to reach it that way either, but he knew that wall was coming soon. He still went into it at a pretty decent speed. For Calhoun, though, second opportunity.
So 2-1 the count now. Willie is 0 for 2 tonight with a couple of strikeouts. His folks on hand here this evening. And a bouncer up the middle. Simmons right there, though. Amazing, the analytics for the guy with 10 at-bats coming in to tonight, and they knew exactly where to be.
Well, they even get information at the minor league level. I mean, that's how this game has changed so dramatically. They know, based on the data they have seen from him, they got a pretty good idea where they want to play some of these guys, even though they've been in the big leagues for a minute.
So now Nomar Mazara announced as the pinch hitter here for Drew Robinson. Nomar has been hampered a little bit lately with that strained left quad. In fact, left the game early last night, really more for defense. He didn't aggravate the leg, but just trying to get him off his feet a little bit. But he's a nice bat to be able to pull off the bench late in a game like this.
I think one of the differences, and even though Nomar is still really young, you say, well, should he be getting tired? Should he be dealing with this kind of stuff? This guy's trained so hard, harder than ever. I think that's part of it. It's not just playing a full big league season, which is a grind, but all the other work that they put in, off season, spring training, it really starts to add up. So it's not surprising to see some guys, even young guys, dealing with maybe more injuries than we're used to seeing. The days of showing up in spring training to get in shape are long, long over.
Well, those were long gone when you were playing, right?
For the most part, yeah.
Oh.
But it was hard to even get to spring training, get into the facilities early. Remember one year going down at Kissimmee. The first year I got traded over to the Astros. Tried to show up like a week early. They wouldn't let me in the complex. We were not allowed to go in until the first day of spring training. I'm trying to get out of freezing cold weather in New York. Can't wait to get down to Florida. I got turned away at the inn. Go find somewhere else. But that has since changed. Now those facilities are open all year round.
So you swing through the drive-through then and head back to the hotel.
To work out with some of the locals.
1-0 the score here in the 8th inning. And Mazara fouls one off. Stays alive, 1-2. Now the other thing about Nomar, and he is just 22 years old. You're talking about a guy still very young, but exhibiting some of the wear and tear of another full season, the second already in his career. He's also a big guy. I mean, that's another part of it, right? 6'4", 215 pounds. Guy asked to play the outfield, run around a lot out there. 1-2 pitch. Little tapper, foul. Just enough English on that one. It's the 6th time this year that Jeff Bannister has asked Mazzara to pinch hit. He's 0 for 5 so far. Battling with Cam Bedrosian.
A good year it's been for Nomar Mazzara. Nice to see him get to 100 RBIs, but you dig in more, and the walk rate is above league average. The strikeout rate right around league average. He's done a really nice job this year.
Bedrosian's 1-2. And that is up and away. 1 out, nobody on here in the 8th inning. Bouncer over the mound. Simmons again well positioned. Throws out Mazzara, and there are 2 away. MLB.TV. Every night, every device. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live. Plus, get a free subscription to At Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions do apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. Here comes to Shields now. He reached in the 6th inning an infield hit. Rangers all of a sudden now running a little low on time in this game. Shields takes a strike. Let's check in again with Emily Jones.
So guys, late in the season, certain things go on in the clubhouse that might not otherwise, just because we've all been around each other for quite some time. Those guys have especially. So it was for some reason yesterday they wanted to know about body fat, and so everybody started going in and getting their body fat percentage taken. I want you to guess what Delino DeShield's body fat is.
Ooh, that's a good one. CJ, you want that one?
I'll go 6.5.
All right, I'll go. Boy, that's a really good guess, because I was going to say somewhere in this. I'll go a little under that. I'll go 6.25.
6.4.
3.7. I'm not even kidding you. 3.7.
I'm getting hungry.
And then he chimes in and is like, I mean, and I eat whatever I want. And I'm like, you know what, Delino, that's
whatever,
enough. I've had enough today. We're done. We're done.
Just rubbing it in our faces.
Yeah.
Sub 4 and eat whatever I want.
Exactly. And then next is Cole with around 8 or somewhere like that. But Delino by far the leanest man on this team.
Wow.
And I could punch him in the face for it.
Don't.
I mean, we all kind of want to know. Okay,
totally
we know
kidding.
who the lowest was.
Delino.
What do we got on the highest?
Yeah, who was the highest?
We can't. That
Anybody
can't be
bragging
real.
about that?
They took mine, actually.
Don't let them do that to you. First of all, that thing hurts a little bit, the way they do that little thing that pinches you.
I'm out on it altogether. No one needs to know that.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of interesting.
Well, you would win among broadcasters, Dave,
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Well, I don't know about that.
Radigan?
For sure.
That's right. We still got some recently retired. David Murphy would probably be the winner.
Jared Sandler.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Although Jared's been playing hurt this year for a lot of the year. He's cut down on his ability to work out a little bit, so yeah, maybe. One pitch right in there for a strike. Daniel Larson might be right there too. Yeah. Put it this way, I'm not running a race with any of them.
Yep. Well, at least you're in the conversation. I am not.
We'll talk. I saw your tweet today about you're concerned about what happens with suits.
Yeah. I wonder, do they shrink? There's something's going on with this one that I've got on today.
Yeah, it could be a problem. They do occasionally shrink.
Okay. It's good news.
It's one of those things I didn't really know how to tell you, but one of your first year or two broadcasting in big league baseball, look out.
Yeah, you got to be careful.
It's like the freshman 15. It just it's almost unavoidable. Happens to everybody.
Trying to fight the good fight somehow, some way. Has not been easy.
You're just settling into the lifestyle, partner. Next year I'll get you started on the pizza.
Only one slice this year at home. Very proud of myself.
Shields with a high pop-up on the right side of the infield. And that one Put away by Crone, and it completes a scoreless top of the 8th inning, so Bedrosian gets through it unscathed. Last of the 8th coming, 1-0 Angels. Inning. And Cole Hamels has done his job to this point, but he's going to keep working in the 8th. Top of the order coming in a 1-0 game.
He has been fantastic, and back out here now for the 8th inning, trying to throw up another 0, give himself a chance and his team a chance to win. He does not want the complete game in this situation. I don't think Cole Hamels has enough pitches left to get through a 9th. So if he throws a CG, that means he only went 8. Rangers never scored, so nobody wants to see that.
Well, unless he wants to pitch a bottom of the 9th inning, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't think he's got enough pitches left to be able to pitch
got you.
9th.
Bouncer, third base. Nice, easy hop. Middlebrooks across the diamond in time. And that is out number 1. Middlebrooks has just come on defensively in this bottom of the 8th inning. Of course, you get an out per pitch.
That would help.
Might change the story a little bit.
That certainly would help a little bit. Cole Hamels, from a pitch count perspective, high for this season, 107. So it makes me think this will probably be his last inning of work.
All right, so Upton right now, well, he's been the whole game.
Yeah, let's take a look at our AT&T high-speed replay for tonight. It is the home run. And Justin Upton, just a changeup that Cole Hamels was trying to throw down and away. You see the glove there from Robinson Chirinos, and the ball cut back over toward the middle of the plate. Upton put a great swing on that ball and hit it a long way. Since then, Cole Hamels, he walked him in the 3rd, but got that double play in the 5th. And so now the 4th at-bat for Justin Upton against Cole Hamels, and we talked about that great lefty batting average against for Upton this year at 342. So this is a tough at bat for Cole Hamels.
Upton having a huge year, and one of those kind of shocking pickups right at the August 31st deadline. 2-2 the count. It was a weird into the month of August because there was a flurry of really significant activity for a lot of teams still in the race. Houston Astros, one of them, with the pickup of Justin Verlander, the 2-2. And it is outside. Full count now on Upton. And the whole point of it was that teams, they can add players to their roster through August, and they are eligible for the postseason. After you add a player, or if you add a player after September 1st, they can't participate in the postseason. This ball smashed deep to center field. The Shields is back, and that one off the top of the fence for a home run. Upton's second homer of the night, and he makes it 2-0 Angels.
I mentioned before the game how the Angels had really struggled against left-handed pitching, but not Justin Upton, and what a difference that makes having him here. And this pitch located away. He got it on the outer half as far as where he wanted it. The ball just continued to carry. Good swing from Justin Upton. That ball just barely gets out of here as it hits the top of the wall, and you see the frustration there from Cole Hamels as his night is now done.
Tough point for this one to finish for Hamels. 2-0 the score. Rangers go to the bullpen. Tonight, and this one pretty easy to summarize. Justin Upton, solo shot on the first, solo shot here in the eighth, giving him 31 home runs this year. Cole Hamels really put in some work today. 7 1/3, 5 strikeouts for him. Managed to work around 4 meaningless walks, but unfortunately down 2-0 in the bottom of the eighth inning, and now replaced with right-hander Tony Barnett.
Well, it was a good game for Cole Hamels. He threw the ball well, just ran into a couple of really tough at-bats against Justin Upton. But with Tony Barnett now in the game, let's take a look at the forward pitch arsenal for Tony. That cutter that we've seen from him all year, averaging 89 miles an hour. That is the go-to, the fastball as well. That gets you 77% of what he has done this year. He'll also mix in the curveball and that split finger every once in a while at just 5%.
So he's on for Hamels here in the last of the eighth inning. And Albert Pujols, the hitter, lines this one down the right field line, just foul. Ooh, very close.
And the Rangers right now have the right-handed hitter pull shift on, which you don't see very often. And Albert Pujols looking for something out over the plate and tried to shoot it the other way. You see 3 infielders on the left side of the infield. That means Joey Gallo will be over all by himself at first base and well off the bag. So a lot of room on the right side for Albert Pujols.
Trying to hold up, but did not. The count 0-2. Base is empty, 1 out. Pujols 0 for 3 so far tonight. That one in the dirt. Well, for the Angels, I think we have pretty much laid it out as clearly as we can for both these teams. Still working hard in the wild card race. the Angels also trying to stave off elimination tonight. And that is elimination in the division battle. 1-2 pitch.
Oh,
Didn't miss by much.
Tony Barnett thought he had that one as well. Tried to go in under the hands of Albert Pujols.
Two on the way. Found a way. The Astros won earlier today. They are, for maybe the only time this year, rooting for the Rangers. A Rangers win today would finally eliminate the Angels from the American League West Division race. Houston with 90 wins, the Angels with 72 losses.
So I'm with you on that. But then the other part of me says, well, in the back of their minds, are they kind of not? So they have a chance to potentially celebrate in the clubhouse if the Angels were to win tonight.
Line shot third base, and Middlebrooks right there for it. 2 away. Oh, I hear you. I guess in their situation, it's going to work out nicely for them one way or the other. They're going to win this division one way or the other, whether they get to control that themselves tomorrow or whether they get the news at the end of this one. They'll be happy either way. 2 gone. Here is Andrelton Simmons. Simmons 1 for 2 with a walk. Whoop, that one got him. Or did it?
I thought it did too.
Him?
I guess it didn't.
Whoa.
And he took exception to it a little bit. Probably caught him off guard. I doubt there's any intent here from Tony Barnett. Looks like a fastball that just got away from him. And yeah, I guess that did not hit Andrelton Simmons. He kind of looks out, but there's no history there. Can't think of anything in particular. Or
no, I'm sure that look was like, whoa, what? 1-0. And that one a strike. Evens things up here. 2-0 Angels lead. There are 2 runs tonight. Solo homers from Justin Upton. And Barnett on. Managed to get Pujols. Needs to get one more. Give the Rangers a shot in the 9th. And good news for the Rangers. They'll have their 2, 3, and 4 hitters coming. Running out of time in this one tonight. And the 2-1. Oh, up and tight again. Barnett really working him inside.
yeah, the arm side fastball too, maybe getting away from Tony just a little bit, as we've seen those last 2 finish a little bit further in than he's wanted them to, and then of course that first pitch that really got away. But it has been all fastballs so far in this at bat.
There's ball 4. And Simmons flips that bat aside, heads down to first base, and it'll bring up C.J. Cron. Cron walked his last time up against Hamels, 0 for 2 tonight. Angels came in 2 games back of Minnesota in the wild card race tonight. And so there's more than just their status in the division on the line here. 75 wins, 72 losses. Mike Scioscia would love to see his team finish with a victory here, and that would get them to within 1 game of Minnesota. One strike pitch. Nope. Toss over to first. Updated standings. You see the Angels a game and a half back, so a win here would chisel off another half game. Rangers at the moment 4.5 back. And still time left in this one. Yankees, the other wild card team right now, they are well out in front. 81 wins, 66 losses. That was coming into play today, so they already had a 4-game cushion up ahead of the Twins in the wild card race. Runner goes, pitches outside, throw down to second base in time, got him! And the inning is done. Simmons thrown out for just the 5th time this year. 2-0 game as we go to the 9th. Last chance coming. It'll be Shin-Soo Choo, Elvis Andrews, and Adrian Beltre in the 9th. Hart stealing at second base. And so this one, an Angels challenge, would take a look. The throw was a good one. But you could see.
That's kind of close. I can't imagine they'll turn this over. One of those ones for me. Let's take a look at this angle here.
Looked like his hand popped up.
Oh, yeah.
He's in there first, but no, he stayed on.
How about how far his glove was from his hand at that point as he was sliding in? Yeah, you're right. That angle right there. They get this thing reversed. We're well into a couple of minutes, though, on this replay, so one that takes a lot of different looks. Tony Barnett is back on the mound throwing to Robinson Chirinos. There is not another Ranger defender on the field. Anderson Simmons is staying on the field. He believes that he's safe, so Tony Barnett taking those extra throws just in case. But it's interesting as we watch that replay in the tag from Rougned Odor, and I can't help but think of.
Well, it looks like they're just about
what do we got here?
Done with the review.
Another head fake.
Yeah. Sam Holbrook. Yeah. Our crew chief says he's out. So indeed, the inning is done. All right. So now we will go to the 9th inning, but not before we check in once again with John Radigan. All right, yeah, thanks, John. So a little break there. Now the Rangers will get a chance in this 9th inning. CJ, dovetailing off what John was just talking about. If you're the Twins, you've been holding on to this spot, watching the guys just kind of fight it out below you, but now they're starting to creep. Would you rather be in the group trying to catch the Twins, or would you rather be the Twins? I just feel like so many times we see this
Yeah.
where it's that team trying to hold on.
Sure.
That almost it's like going to the prevent D late in a football game, right? And then it just slips away.
Yeah, but it's so close. I'd say the Yankees are maybe more in that prevent. Of course, they're also trying to chase the Red Sox. But I look at the Twins. I'd much rather be in their spot because at least you have the opportunity to control your own destiny. Now, is there some anxiety there a little bit, looking over your shoulder and you're seeing and the Angels, if they're able to hold on here, they would be just a game back? Yeah, that's some added pressure. But again, I think for the Minnesota Twins, to some degree, they're playing with house money because they're in a spot that nobody really expected them to be in. Not that Paul Molitor would be okay with them not making it. He wants to see his guys respond to this pressure. But there is absolutely some pressure right now on the Minnesota Twins. They're probably feeling it a little bit. And now what's going on?
Well, Yusmeiro Petit had warmed up, and now right about at the time we were getting ready to play, the umpiring crew has decided to meet right by the mound.
So, hey, this game was moving along too fast. I think that's what Greg Gibson is saying. What do you guys think about slowing it down a little bit? Because they're probably sticking around for the Jonas Brothers concert, I got to believe. So I would think they'd be anxious to get things moving.
Yeah, it's probably a little conversation about that. Well, whatever the meeting was, it was a short one.
What's your favorite Jonas Brothers song? Probably was what Greg Gibson was asking there. And Sam Holbrook said, I don't have any.
Well, it's weird because there was nothing that seemed to have come from it, but Yusmeiro Petit is the pitcher here in this ninth inning. It'll be Chu, Andrewson, Beltre, the 2, 3, and 4 coming up for the Rangers, down by 2 in the ninth. And Petit puts one right in there for a strike. Yesterday, the Rangers came back with 2 runs in the 8th inning to get within a run, but then could not do anything in the 9th inning.
He does have 3 saves this year, 5 over the course of his career. Last night, of course, we saw Blake Parker throw 26 pitches, a couple innings of work. He's usually the go-to guy, or has been as of late. There's a lot of pitches, a lot of work. He did a nice job yesterday for Mike Sosa. Now, I'm surprised 26 pitches is a lot, but you get into this situation this time of the season and you're playing from behind, you got to push your relievers a little bit. Now, it also matters what he did the few days before that. Well, he had the last 4 days off, but Mike Sosa decides that he's going to mix it up here a little bit. He doesn't want to push Parker. Of course, he knows he needs him the rest of the year.
And Petit, it's strike 3 called on Chu. Petit threw 2 innings yesterday in long relief with a couple of strikeouts. But he is that guy. He's the rubber arm guy who they'll bring back for lengthy outings, consecutive days. He gets Chu looking to start the ninth.
Chu didn't like that call, and he also didn't like the first pitch of the at-bat. He thought it was borderline. So when you have one called against you in the beginning of that bat and then at the end, some frustration there for Chu. That ball looked like it was a little bit off the plate.
1 gone, and now Elvis Andrus. Elvis had a base hit his last time up. Fouls this one right back at us. And got my foot on the carom.
Oh. You see a lot of foul balls come in here, like, you know, like, yeah, I could try to catch that, but nah, I'm out. I went this way.
Yeah.
There it goes. No hole in the wall.
No, we're fine.
Should I sign it Nick Jonas and then throw it in the stands?
Yeah, throw it back to the folks down below. This one fouled back.
So we have a tremendous view here in this ballpark. This is one of the best in the game, I would say. Would you put it in your top 3 or 4?
Absolutely. No,
yeah.
It's a fantastic park.
And I love this as a broadcaster because you get a really good look at the field. There's kind of what our view is right there. I'm not going to let you look at my bald spot, but that's where what we're looking at. And you just feel like you're a little bit more in the action. We go to Washington and we call that game from the blimp there. You're so high up. You really feel engaged. It's a great view. Now, you got to be heads up, though. That's the other side of it. There's been a lot of foul balls we saw go a couple of boots over from us so far in this series, and they could come in pretty hot. Can't be looking down on your computer like I have a tendency to do.
Oh, it was time. It was time to get one. A ball and 2 strikes on Andrus. Rangers down to their final 2 outs, trailing by 2 here in the 9th inning. Here's the pitch. And did Andrews hold up? He did not. That's strike 3.
Elvis Andrews really frustrated with this call. We'll get a look at it and see whether or not that barrel came around. Did he hold up his swing? Probably not. Elvis frustrated with the call, but probably the right one.
So now Adrian Beltre. Beltre 0 for 3 tonight. And turns this one foul. That was a big game. Both teams needed, big performances from their starters. And both teams got them. The difference in this one has been Justin Upton. Bridwell was very, very good tonight. Now the count 0-2 on Adrian Beltre. Rangers are down to their last strike. And the fans here, they'll come to their feet. They're 1 strike away from getting to within 1 game of the second wild card spot in the American League. Fly ball out to right field. Calhoun underneath it. And that'll do it. A 1-2-3 ninth inning. Angels have taken the first 2 games of this series. Justin Upton with a couple of home runs. And it's a 2-0 Angels victory. And the struggles continue for the Rangers. Hey, John Radigan, Mike Bassett, and Darren Oliver will be right back. I'm going to talk about this pitcher's duel tonight. Set up our finale for tomorrow, give you all the player reaction and analysis. We'll be back to the booth as well to talk a little bit about what we can expect in tomorrow's game. For CJ Nitkowski, Emily Jones, and our entire crew, I'm Dave Raymond. Ask you to stay with us. Rangers Live postgame show starts right after this.